Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayat Nashta Prayesho Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, so we are starting the ninth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 4, which is Ambarīṣa Mahārāja offended by Durvasa Muni. So we are reading from verse 13, 9:4:13. नाभागादम्बरीशो भून् महाभागवतकृति नास्पृशद् ब्रह्मशापोऽपि यं न प्रतिहतः क्वचित्. From Nabhaga, Maharaja Ambarīṣa took birth. Maharaja Ambarīṣa was an exalted devotee, celebrated for his great merits. Although he was cursed by an infallible Brahmana, the curse could not touch him. So in this chapter, so there's somebody called Nabhaga and then Nabhaga. Is born from Nabhaga, and then from Nabhaga is born Ambarīṣa Mahārāja. So Ambarīṣa Mahārāja was an exalted devotee, celebrated for his great merits. So, and says that he was cursed by an infallible Brahmana. Obviously, Prabhupada is saying infallible Brahmana. Brahma Shapa. So it just says Brahma, Brahma Shapa, which means the Brahmana who could curse, but the curse could not touch him. Shri Rajo Vacha Bhagavan Shrotum Ichami Rajarshyestasya Dhimataha Na Prabhudyatra Nirmukto Brahmadando Duratyayaha. King Parikshit inquired, O great personality, Maharaja Ambarīṣa was certainly most exalted and meritorious in character. I wish to hear about him. How surprising it is that the curse of a Brahmana, which is insurmountable, could not act upon him. So Brahma Shapa is considered to be very, very powerful. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking, it's surprising that the curse of a Brahmana could not act upon him. Of course, it's not surprising because Maharaja Ambarīṣa was already, in the previous verse, it was said that he was an exalted devotee. Nobody can touch a devotee, such a devotee. And that is the whole essence of this episode. The surrender of Ambarīṣa, the faith he had, his humility, and the power that a devotee has just because of his surrender to Krishna. It's not his own power, or he didn't want to display any power. Unlike yogis who want to display their siddhis, Ambarīṣa Maharaj did not want to do any of those. But the Lord cannot tolerate his devotees' suffering. So it's a beautiful episode which helps us understand the greatness of devotee, which is why the first sadhu ninda is the first aparada among the nama aparadas is considered. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said it is mad elephant offense. It's a mad elephant offense because offending a Vaishnava as exalted um, is just equivalent to leaving a mad elephant in a flower garden. What will happen to the garden? The garden will just get destroyed. The garden will get destroyed. So we have to be very, very careful. We have to be very careful when we are dealing with Vaishnavas. Because Vaishnavas, actually, we can't make out the stature of a Vaishnava. It's very, very difficult. Sometimes Vaishnavas look very, very ordinary, act very ordinary, might come across very ordinary because that is just their humility. That's all. But what a Vaishnava is only, it depends on his love and affection for Krishna, which is very difficult to find out. Except for the Guru, mostly others cannot find out what is the depth of devotion of a devotee. Unfortunately, our arrogance and our pride makes us think that we are better devotees compared to others. And so we might belittle, we might treat some, another devotee not very respectfully. Especially Krishna consciousness is it's a special process, right, which allows for all kinds of devotees to come in. So maybe there is somebody who is washing pots, or even washing bathrooms. It doesn't make them any small or insignificant or unimportant. Maybe somebody sitting on Vyasasan, maybe that person sitting on Vyasasan is not as exalted as the person who is just cleaning the floor. So once somebody came to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he was asking some big, big questions. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur wanted to teach him a lesson. So he just told him, saying that, I don't remember the name of the devotee whom he sent to Mukunda, Govinda, something I can't remember. So he just sent him, saying that you please go there as my disciple. You talk to him and come. Something like that he said. So this person who had come in, who was thinking that he was some, very big, scholar or whatever, he went to this devotee, and what was this devotee doing? This devotee was watering the plants. He was like gardener. He was doing this gardening work. And then, this person goes and meets him, and just in the course of their conversation, that devotee simply, in very, very simple words, actually somewhat answers all the questions that that person had got without him even sitting and inquiring or questioning in a formal way. And then after some time, the devotee comes back to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur asked, saying that, do you still have doubts? He said, no, I don't have doubts. All my doubts are cleared. So devotees can be exalted. And Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. So it doesn't require somebody to be a formal scholar or, formal preacher or anything for them to be exalted. In fact, it's very dangerous to be frontline preacher, right? We need great protection from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, we can just be carried away by our so-called scholarship. We think that we know. But what is the value of that knowledge anyway? Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Sunite Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshina Suni Chaiva Swapache Swapakhecha Pandita Samadarshina. So, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. Really, if we are learned, then we should be Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. With Vidya, Vinaya should come. Vinaya, humility, soft, meek. Actually, Prabhupada says meek. And I heard this word first time. I thought like meek. That's considered such a disqualification in on the material platform. How can one be meek? Will people not take undue advantage? No, but that's what pleases Krishna. That one who is meek and surrendered and simple. So we cannot understand who a Vaishnava is. So here the Durvasa Muni, he'll come, that exalted or insurmountable curse of Durvasa. Durvasa could not recognize what Ambarīṣa Mahārāja was. So it's very, very important. We have to be extremely, extremely, extremely careful dealing with devotees. I'm telling this to myself because I'm puffed up idiot. So, we have to understand that there are so many exalted devotees around, and mm, just to beat down my false ego, Krishna sent so many amazing devotees to me, just to teach me, saying that, see, this is devotion, not what you think is devotion, what you think is not devotion. This is real devotion. And when I see these devotees, I get so inspired. I get so inspired. Still, somehow, it's taking time for me to curb my false ego. Hopefully, in course of time, by the mercy of these devotees, my false ego will also go. Mm. But it is such exalted association that we seek. Actually, this is the answer to some prayers I had made many years back when I was struggling to find quality association, and then I was very, very, like unhappy, really to the extent of being frustrated. And I prayed to Krishna saying that, Krishna, please, I want quality association. I can't go anywhere else. I'm in Bangalore. Please give me quality association. And then Krishna so mercifully has sent all these devotees here. So I feel very, very fortunate. And I'm not just speaking just like that. From every devotee, I can tell what all I'm learning, what I'm learning from each devotee. So devotees are exalted. And Ambarīṣa Mahārāja was definitely one such exalted devotee. So no Brahmana curse can act on such a devotee. Shri Shuka Vacha. Ambarīṣa Mahābhāga Saptadvipavatī Mahīm Avyayam Cha Shriyam Labdhva Vibhavam Chatulam Bhuvi Meneti Durlabham Pumsam Sarvam Tatsvapna Samstutam Vidvan Vibhava Nirvanam Tamo Vishati Yat Puman. Shukadeva Goswami said, Maharaja Ambarisha, the most fortunate personality, achieved the rule of the entire world consisting of 7 islands and achieved inexhaustible, unlimited opulence and prosperity on earth. Although such a position is rarely obtained, Maharaja Ambarisha did not care for it at all. This is the important part. For he knew very well that all such opulence is material, like that which is imagined in a dream. Such opulence will ultimately be destroyed. The king knew that any non-devotee who attains such opulence merges increasingly into material nature's mode of darkness. The amazing verse. So he was the empire of the whole world, uh, whole Jambudvipa. No, not Jambudvipa. Actually, 7 islands. So this is whole Brahma Bhumi, whole of the whole material universe. He was the ruler. So what can we imagine position of such a person? Although such a position is rarely obtained, Maharaja Ambarisha did not care for it at all. Again, I keep repeating this. Actually, I should search for that verse. 9th chapter, no, not 9th chapter, 12th chapter Bhagavad Gita, without cares. 1 second. Yeah. What verse was that? 12.16. Anapeksha Suchirdaksha Udasino Gatapyataha Sarvaramba Parityagi Yomi Bhaktas Same Priyaha. So here, Udasina, this word Udasina. Udasina means without care, careless, in other words. So Krishna is describing the qualities of his dear devotee, and he's saying one of the qualities is Udasina. Like Krishna is Udasina, Udasinavat. Krishna is Udasina towards this material world. Not like too bothered about this material world because he's given the control to Vishnu, and then Maya Devi, Durga Devi is there. So he's given it off. He's given the responsibility to others to take care. And so he's not really so concerned. Actually, he doesn't care. Of course, when you say doesn't care, he doesn't care about the non-devotees. Of course, when you say doesn't care, it doesn't mean that he doesn't care. He cares, but indirectly, meaning he doesn't take personal interest. He's created a structure, framework, process, everything to take care of it, right? Which is laws of karma, Maya Devi, etc., right? Punishment, rectification. So these things he's created, that's his care, but he doesn't take personal care. But he takes personal care of his devotees. Which kind of devotees? Who don't care. Who don't themselves care, Krishna will take care of such devotees. Who don't care about their material situation, about this, that, and all that, and they're simply surrendered to the Lord, ready to do whatever Guru and Krishna wants. Obviously, they can't be with cares. Meaning, if they're continuously worrying about this, that, and other things on the material platform, then they can't be without cares. So now we should not imitate this position. This is a very, very exalted position. Okay. Krishna is very, very simply speaking about qualities of great devotees in this last 8 verses of 12th chapter. So one who gets to that state really, and see, we also have to understand a few things, saying that when we have responsibility, we can't do this. When we take up responsibility, we can't do this. Now, not that we cannot do this, because Krishna is saying Sarva Dharman Parityaja, but then we should actually give it up. Meaning we should give up the ashrama if we are so exalted. We should not be in the ashrama and be irresponsible. This is very, very important to understand. If we are within an ashrama, it's like, you're going to a job. If you're going to a job, do it sincerely. Don't be a hypocrite. Don't go take salary and then not do your work properly. That's not good. They'll say, these devotees are like this kamchor. So it's not good. We don't set a good example. So if you have taken up a responsibility, do it properly. If you don't want that responsibility, formally reject it. Formally, which means that you don't want to take up grahastha responsibility, then you reject the grahastha responsibility. Okay, now, which is not considered good because we are not setting a good standard. Which is why Krishna says, then, better you follow varnashrama. You come here, then do your duty, dutifully, till you are in grahastha ashrama. Then you give up grahastha ashrama, go to vanaprastha, do whatever you want. You can go without cares then. But till then, what we should do, we can be without cares about ourselves, not about our responsibility. This is very, very important to understand. When it comes to our responsibility, we should be careful, we should take care, we should do nice, properly take care of people. So that, they don't feel like, what is this? These devotees are like careless. They don't even have basic, material considerations. I see sometimes, we don't even see somebody has come to the center. We don't ask them to sit down. We don't ask off the, we just don't know basic etiquette of, welcoming a guest like that, right? It's a very fundamental thing. We can't become a devotee if we don't have these qualities, right? So when we have responsibilities, we take care of it nicely. And when it comes to ourselves, we should start to become udasinavat. Don't care too much about your own position. I see that how much ever devotees hear this, when they have to put it into practice, it becomes very, very difficult. Yesterday I was talking to some devotees. And devotee was saying, Prabhu, whatever classes we have been hearing now, it looks like it is time for us to implement those things, because they're going through a little bit challenge dealing with some other devotees in one center. I said, see, theory is useless. So Krishna very, very mercifully puts us into these situations where we need to implement, put our learnings into practice. And if we are running away from that, then basically then the whole theory process was a waste. We wasted time hearing so much. Hmm. It's no use if we just can, quote verses or talk about big, big philosophy if we can't implement it in our own lives. So Krishna will put us in situations, so that actually we have to learn to become udasinavat about ourselves. Uh, and don't worry too much about. And I keep saying this, right? It's like devotees who are serious about devotion, don't bother about don't bother about the mirror too much. Number one. Number two, don't worry about people offending you, disrespecting you. Don't worry. It's just to kill your false ego. And it happens only to those devotees who have too much of false ego. Krishna mercifully puts them in situations where they have to deal with such things. And I've seen devotees running away from situations, saying that no, 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 I can't deal with this. No, but Krishna is mercifully putting you into that situation, so that you can rectify yourself. Why are you running away? Hmm? So Udasina, this word we have to remember. Krishna is Udasina towards Udasina. What? It says like he doesn't care, which means he cares, but not directly. And devotee is also Udasina. He doesn't care about his own personal things, but he cares for other devotees. He cares to serve the Guru, Supreme Lord, all that, but he doesn't care much about himself. This is a very, very important characteristic. And Ambarīṣa Mahārāja was on that platform. You say, Yomat Bhakta Same Priyaha. He's a Priya Bhakta, dear devotee of the Lord. So he had all this, but he did not care for it. He just did not care for it. Care for it means he's not bothered about protecting it, growing it, blah, blah, blah. It says it's fine. It's there. For he knew very well that all such opulence is material. So he had perfect vision of a devotee. So saying all this opulence is material. What is the problem with this material? It's like imagined in a dream. Material opulence, material relations, material this, material that, everything is like in a dream. So we should not get too affected by it. Hmm? Hmm. Somebody Sunday came to meet me and they said, oh, my husband doesn't allow me to do devotion. I said, welcome. You're not alone. Don't think that you're alone. You have a lot of devotees like you. And yeah, we still go on trying sincerely. And Krishna will give mercy. Krishna will give mercy. The first stage of transition of such spouse, it could be husband or wife, is first they'll let you do what you want to do. First stage. Now just imagine that they are not at all qualified to be here. So don't be too impatient with them. Okay, they are not qualified to be here. You are qualified, and somehow it's their fortune that they somehow got uh, connected with you. Um, so the first stage is that they let you do what you want to do and be happy with that. Be happy. We are not happy. We are not happy. We keep saying, no, no, Prabhu, see, but I see so many families, all of them do bhakti so nicely. But you're not realizing that your situation is different. Your situation is different, and still Krishna has shown mercy by bringing that person who possibly said, why you have to go, why you have to go, why you have to go, to now saying, it's okay, you go. It's okay, you go. It's a big, big change. We can't somehow see that. We can't somehow see that that is Krishna's mercy. We still stand in front of Krishna and say, Krishna, why you are not making him favorable? Why he also should become a devotee? Krishna says, Arre Baba, he is not qualified at all. Thoda wait karo. Don't be in a hurry. And then the next stage, which will definitely happen in every devotee's life, I've seen this over years. The next stage that he or she will become a devotee. You just have to patiently wait and pray for it. That's all. So otherwise, yeah, it's all like in a dream. Material things, all these things are just like in a dream. As soon as you wake up, it's all gone. Mm. So, and one who has, yeah, it's all gone. And one who has such opulence, he drowns himself in the mode of ignorance. So he goes into tamoguna, thinking that he has achieved something great. Actually, he's not achieved anything. He's achieved something which is going to get lost anyway. Mm. Purport. Prabhupada is saying, for a devotee, material opulence is insignificant. Whereas for a non-devotee, material opulence is the cause of increasing bondage. For a devotee knows that anything material is temporary, whereas a non-devotee regards the temporary so-called happiness as everything. One statement is enough. One statement encompasses everything. Non-devotee regards temporary so-called happiness as everything and forgets the path of self-realization. So what do people live for? For this temporary happiness. People live for this temporary happiness. And so unfortunate that this happiness, which is so important for them, is not in their control. It's in the control of those material objects. It's in the control of those material relations. It's in the control of their boss. It's in the control of whatever. But it's not in their control. So something most wanted for the jiva is not in his control. And what happens? Inevitably it ends up in misery. Inevitably. This is the design of this material world. It can't be otherwise. Just that, how fast or how slow is the question, that's all. Some people experience that sadness immediately. Some people take time, meaning they have little more of that so-called happiness they experience, putting them into more ignorance. Thinking that, oh yeah, see, I wanted this, I got it. So I'm going to get more. So in that way, fortunate are those people who don't get their material desires fulfilled. They'll come to reality sooner. Otherwise, we'll just be in ignorance. We'll just be in this illusion saying, this is a material world. I put effort, I get result, I enjoy. That's it, over. But little do we really sit back and think, saying that, where am I going to take all this? What will happen at the time when I have to leave all this? Am I not going to experience extreme misery, extreme distress, extreme suffering? Because I will have to leave all this. Someday, today or the other, tomorrow we have to leave. So an intelligent person who is a devotee will not remain attached to these temporary, worthless material things. Okay, it's required for living in this material world, but so much is not required. As much as we think is required, that much is not required. And it's a common principle for everybody. it doesn't have to be, we don't have to pick a person and say, irrespective of anybody in this material world, what they think is required is not how much they require. They require much less than that, but they think they require more. And this is the reason, cause for suffering, misery in this material world. So, which is why, this whole aspect of simple living, high thinking is very, very important. We have to live simply, right? And I shocked all the Matajis, right? That day when I said, reduce your wardrobe. It's one aspect of living simply. Live simply. I'm happy to see clothes repeating within a month. you know, and I see that, some people have infinite wardrobe looks like, I can't remember when I had seen this dress last. You may be thinking, what is this? Prabhu doesn't have any other business. Yeah, my goal is to simplify people's lives um, because it helps. It helps. It helps a lot. You can't imagine the load it takes off. It takes off huge load. Now you don't have to worry about buying clothes. Just imagine. I mean, such a relief. There's no place in the wardrobe to start with. right? This house, like all the attics are full of useless, unwanted things that we have accumulated for years, right? And still we don't stop buying new things. What craziness, right? So somewhere some sense has to prevail, right? So we at least start with ourselves saying that, okay, let's put a full stop to buying new clothes. If your hands are itching, no, I have not bought a new sari, I have not bought a new cloth, please buy and gift it to somebody. You will also feel happy saying a devotee is, you gave something to a devotee. Don't load it into your wardrobe. You know, it's a simply waste of energy and time. And then, it's so funny. I mean, I don't know why all these things, yeah, somehow these things come to my attention. I don't know. Maybe I'm sure I was a lady in some life. Uh, so all those things, that mix and match and this and that, I just like feel like laughing. Uh, Sometimes I see, uh, the hairband has to match the dress. I mean, I was like, oh my God. I mean, give it a break, please. Take it easy. I mean, this is not what life is all about. Life is not for this. Uh, which is why I'm so happy for at least Prabhu's in our center. No choice. White, 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 white. Now bead bag also white. So no color bag business. Right. So let's make it simple. Thus, for the non-devotee, material opulence is a disqualification for spiritual advancement. No, not just for a non-devotee, even for a devotee. If he's attached, then it can be a disqualification. So, see, it's a very simple thing. Why very few preachers in ISKCON will speak about all these things? Why do we speak about this? See, because it's very, very simple. Man mana bhava mad bhakto, Krishna is saying. Now, you might be hearing, all big, big classes and all that. But then as soon as you see a shop, all your class is gone, forgotten, right? So practical implementation of this requires us to bring about a conscious change in the way we are living. Otherwise, all that katha that you are hearing will be useful only to some extent. But if you want to take full advantage of that, make your life simple. Make your life simple. Uh, so my family is behind me saying that we have bike Activa, which is like I don't know how many years old it is. So someday one thing breaks down, some other day something else breaks down. So they're behind me saying that my daughter is this bike is not okay. Today light was not working. I said okay, I'll get it fixed. Tomorrow she'll say something else not working. I say I'll get it fixed. I said, Papa, why? What is your problem? Why can't you just buy a new bike? I said, it's not fully conked off. It's not reached that stage. When it reaches that stage, we'll buy a new one. Don't worry. Right? I mean, because see, then you'll say, okay, one bike, then another bike came. Now, what will you do this with this bike? Then you won't use this bike. Then it won't start. Then again, you will say, take it to the mechanic. No, it's just like this. You just add burden over burden for nothing. So I said, don't worry. When it really becomes useless, we'll sell it. Because anyway, it doesn't have any resale value. How much resale value? Some 2,000 rupees, somebody, Gujri, right? Put it to waste. Only that much you will get for, whatever, 7, 8, 10-year-old vehicle. So it's like that, you just generally practical things. I'm saying somebody said that you give too many examples about yourself. I said I give examples because those things that I implement, I share with others so that they can understand. It's not to glorify myself. Right, and I found it difficult to explain to the devotee why otherwise I have to just say somebody else, somebody else, somebody else. I can do that also. I can say somebody else, but the whole point is that we have to implement these things in our life. Mm. Yeah, for a non-devotee, all these things are the reason for living. And for devotees, it's not. It should not be. Mm. Focus has to be Krishna. And today I was so happy that, garland was so beautiful today. What is beautiful about today's garland? In the middle, right in the middle, right in the middle, it is out of the box. So beautiful, so let's focus our energies on such things, right? Instead of thinking, I want to get some nice stuff, what nice stuff can I do for Krishna? And Krishna will be so pleased, somebody whoever did that garland, you know, put their heart into it, right? Something they did. As soon as I saw that, I felt so happy saying that, something, we're offering something. different to the Lord. Yeah, so which is so easy, right? We can divert our attention from ourselves to Krishna, and life can be so happy. We can be really happy. Okay, so I'll close here. If anybody has any questions, comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
With due respect, I'm not hurting your sentiments. I mean, I really.
These are not sentiments at all, Mataji.
No,
I
no,
have no sentiments.
I really have appreciation of how much of austerity you do, but I do not agree on the motorbike part of it. Prabhu, it's an old vehicle and then it's a motorbike. You have to understand it's a two-wheeler. Prabhu, you are spending time on repairing it, and my Guru Maharaj very clear cut tells if you can avoid, please avoid a two-wheeler. And even Prabhupada said
Yeah,
it's a
sure,
death trap.
sure. We can,
So
yeah,
Prabhu,
we'll avoid a
with all
two-wheeler.
due respect, as a mother, as a sister, as a disciple, I request you, if your daughter is telling you something, sometimes you need to listen, and
No,
you
I
don't need
listen
to
to
be
it.
stubborn. So the next class, we all hope you get a new. If
But
you
next
still have
class,
to be,
which is tomorrow.
so whatever it is, I don't know. At least book your this thing. It's a
Okay,
request.
Mataji.
I cannot order. But इतना तो मैं जोर से बोल
It's
सकती
not
हूँ
so
आपको.
bad. It's actually not so
No,
bad. Anyway, I'll
nothing is
take your.
bad. When you're attached to a vehicle, nothing is bad. When your daughter is telling you something with due respect to her, she won't be telling you unless it is bad.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
We get attached to vehicles, घर में एकदम की तरह पड़ा रहता है. Oh, my first car, my first this thing, my first this thing.
Yeah.
And
Unfortunately, I don't have any such sentiment, which is a
fair
big
enough. I
problem.
can understand. I mean, but I'm just telling you, experience wise, I'm telling you, Prabhu.
Yeah, actually, my rationale would be like this: if it is dangerous to ride, get rid of it. That's where I stop. That's where my criteria ends, right? So
No, Prabhu,
nothing else.
no, sometimes, we understand I'm not saying, with all due respect, motorbikes and scooters don't stop. And, but I would rather, कि इससे अच्छा तो फोर-व्हीलर ले लीजिए. ये कोई जरूरी नहीं होता है महंगा ले लो.
Anyway, it's a separate
छोटा,
discussion.
I understand, and we won't get into it.
Yeah.
And it's
Thank
a
you.
request, Prabhu. Sorry.
Okay.
Prabhu, I won't be here for a week. With the grace of God, last moment I joined another yatra to Jagannath Puri.
Oh, okay.
Just I went to Pandapur, उसी तरह किसी को बहुत request करके जा रही हूँ. So
Okay,
please
Mataji.
pray for me that I get off.
Please pray for all of us.
Sure.
I
Prabhu, please
was
pray
hoping
for me
that you
I
will be
get
here for our Rath Yatra in Ulimau.
Rath Yatra, I'm going for the Ulta Rath Yatra. Prabhu will be there. I
Okay.
wish I एकदम ये only
Pray for us.
yesterday, Prabhu, last moment, I called him up and he said, Mataji, I'll make some arrangement in the hotel. Please come.
Okay.
So I'm
Sure.
getting excited.
Okay,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Prabhu. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Pray for me that I'll get darshan because it's really crowded, Prabhu.
No, okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Pranam to
Anything else?
everybody.
Pranam. Yeah. Anything else? Anybody? Okay, thank you all for joining. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo Chapatidanam Bhavanabhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namo Ananda Koti Vaishnavibhyo Jai. Samaveta Gaura Bhaktarundi ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Pranam.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.